What's going on, everybody? My name's Nick.
And I'm Joe.
And we're Nick and Joe. We just finished watching the show, Blackpink's live YouTube concert. And we have some reactions, some top moments, some highlights, some things we loved. And before we get into it, here's how the night started. The show is gonna start any minute now. Joe is over here cooking his specialty dinner, ramen. Are you excited, Joe?
I'm so excited.
He's so excited. He doesn't have his Blackpink t-shirt on yet, but I clearly am prepared with the Blackpink hoodie. What I like, guys, he's got the hat on. Oh. Started playing music videos as we count down to the stream. And dinner is served.
That's enough.
Hurry up! No. Intro. You think there'll be an intermission?
That stuff like this.
I hope you enjoyed that clip and that none of those clips are getting cut because of copyright.
And if we're not banned from YouTube yet.
Yes.
So next they did Pretty Savage. And then
an epic performance of Pretty Savage, I would say.
I would say the live band itself makes everything more epic.
Well, let's not talk about it yet.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. And then they went into DDU-DU with this crazy set. DDU-DU was insane.
Crazy.
It was absolutely insane. I thought it was going to be the last song.
Fire and water.
Fire and water. It was crazy. A lot going on there. And then they did like this little like video interlude kind of thing, which I thought was the end, which was like it was like Stay playing in the background, but it wasn't live. It was just like the track playing. It
was like a little bit emotional.
Yeah, and they were like talking about their first experience with their first shows and their first tour, and they're kind of like explaining like what like live concerts mean to them, kind of thing. And it was like an emotional thing, but they're all like, it was like they're each individually like sitting in front of the camera, like telling kind of their feelings about like the live.
I'm happy they included stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. It gave it a little bit more like personal feel. Yeah. Because there actually weren't a lot of spots where they stopped and talked. There was only a couple throughout the show. But after that, they went into this last part of the show.
Okay.
And this last part of the show was the only part of the show that struck me as though it could have actually been being performed live in front of us.
Right. It was a seamless thing.
Yeah, a seamless thing. The rest of it was kind of like a series of stages where there were different outfits and different hair and different everything.
Different aesthetic.
In a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
So it all struck me as like...
So you could tell it was recorded live, but it was not happening live as we were watching.
But this last section was the part that I felt like that this actually...
It could have been
live. They did Whistle, As If It's Your Last, and then Boom Baya, and it kind of seemed like it was over, but they came back in and did Forever Young as the last song.
Interesting closer.
Yeah, interesting. I thought As If It's Your Last.
Fun, like it was a fun, like relaxed, casual kind of closing. Like they were just having a good time.
Exactly. Yeah, and they're kind of messing around, like not doing the choreography, just kind of like running around the stage. So
that was the set list.
That was it.
A jam-packed set list, I will say. You were getting into it before, but one of the biggest highlights of the show for me is, of course, the live band.
Yeah.
And the live band, it's the same band that was like their touring live band. And there's a couple albums on Spotify that are from the live shows. There's like Live in Japan, which I listen to a lot.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be like a lot of the same arrangements, and some of it were similar. Like there's some really awesome like drumming, electric guitar, like all that stuff. But there were like new additions to the arrangements that made the songs even more epic. Yeah,
I think in particular, they did a lot with the arrangements for How You Like That. The end of it was really, really cool.
Yep.
I thought DDU-DU, obviously they put in this crazy like dance break thing. That was also really cool. And then Don't Know What to Do was like an entirely different song almost.
Yeah, it was that was so interesting.
Yeah.
We expected it to build into something more and more and more.
But it was kind of like a chill, kind of like mellow version of it.
It was a different vibe than usual, for sure.
For sure.
But the band just adds another level to these songs. Like if you weren't able to catch the show, and you can go listen to some of the live from like tour in Japan or whatever they are on
even
Spotify.
like the Coachella videos and stuff.
Oh yeah, like that stuff. Yeah. It's so epic.
It's just like a much different feel, and it gives it this much bigger feel.
Yeah,
like, and I like if you're there, if you're actually there live, like in a venue watching that, there's such a big difference between them like playing a track and singing over it, and then having like the bass and the guitar and the drums, like the way, like all those like short little hits that they do.
One day we'll be able to.
Exactly, and it's gonna be crazy.
Yes.
It's just, it gives it like so much more like depth, and like makes it sound so much bigger.
Shout out to the band 6, which is the name of the band.
So, well,
next highlight.
I have my top 5 moments.
All right, well, let's go with the top 5.
Want to go with my top 5 moments?
Let's go.
All right, my 5th.
It's just the Joe show.
The Joe show now. Okay, my number 5. You're gonna love this one. My number 5 is Lisa's green dress, bro.
The green dress.
The green dress, dude.
Now, this is how they opened the show. They all had very like eye-catching dresses, almost reminding me of like superheroes a little bit, because they all had
looked like a body armor.
Yeah,
it was like crazy.
Like Rosé's was like silver with like these silver roses on it, like really epic.
Jennie's red.
Yeah. And Lisa had this green thing on, like it was a normal dress except for the giant like. What do you call that?
They looked like trees from Dr. Seuss books.
Sure. Like the Lorax?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, it was just like this big puffy like thing. Yeah. And like, I understand like fashion and stuff.
Oh, you understand?
No, like I understand that it is like this fashion thing. But like, I don't understand it as like a look. But it was so
it stood out for sure.
It stood out so much, and it was so like eye catching that it's like I can just
can't get it out of your brain.
Stop thinking about the green dress, bro.
Next.
Number 4. My number 4 was the "Don't Know What to Do," like that version of the song. Yeah.
It would be great if they released this audio.
Yeah, as
an album.
As an album for sure. Because like that version of it, like I said, like the whole time I was expecting it to like build up and have like this crazy like breakdown of some sort, or just like go into like this full like with like the band, like the drums going crazy and stuff. And it didn't really get there.
Right.
But I think even still, like if I just went back and listened to that version, it's just a much more like toned back version of the song. Yeah. It doesn't have like that EDM chorus aspect of it. It's just like them singing, and I think that like even still, I liked this version a lot. Yeah. And it's
nice to have alternate versions of songs that you like.
It's not exactly the same thing every single time. Yeah, for sure.
Next.
Number 3 was the DDU-DU crazy breakdown with the water. They're like, so basically what it was is like they had the stage. Yeah. And there was like a thin layer of water on the bottom of the stage. And there's fire behind them, just like going crazy. And they're on the stage and they're dancing and the water's like splashing everywhere.
Shirtless men.
Shirtless men behind them. Everywhere. And there's just water splashing around.
And it makes an epic performance because they're dancing in the water, so every step is like a giant
and
splash.
They changed like they changed the song, and then they put in like this part where they're like stomping,
like a step dance,
like a step dance, and the water's like splashing everywhere. And
they had Rosé up. They were holding Rosé up in the air.
Like this crazy. It was like this crazy epic thing. So,
the cameras were also going crazy.
Yeah, the cameras were going crazy during a lot of it. It was like vibrating and like doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It was definitely some epic stuff going on.
Next.
Number 2 was the Love to Hate Me acoustic to the You Never Know transition.
Yes, it was completely seamless.
It was completely
and unexpected.
Yeah, I never saw it coming. And like we said before, the Love to Hate Me acoustic version was, to me, better than the original of the song. Like it just, I think that that suited the song better than the original version did. And then You Never Know is just my favorite song on the album.
I was not hot on You Never Know in our album ranking video. However, this live version was great. Yeah. I think it brings the emotion. A live performance of that song brings the emotion through a lot more than a recorded album version, for sure.
Number 1 moment, obviously.
Obviously.
Number 1 moment.
Well, you already said Lisa's green dress. So it had to be Rosé Solo.
Has to be Rosé Solo. Yeah,
yes.
New music.
So the song is called Gone.
Gone, yes.
A little bit of a spoken word performance at the beginning.
Yeah,
as well.
which a little interesting.
Rosé, she's a little artsy, you know?
I think so.
It's a little bit different for Rosé, I would say. I would say if Rosé was not in BLACKPINK, if Rosé had gone a different path, she'd be in a band or she would be like a solo like rock indie artist for sure.
Yeah.
Seems like she's getting her chance to do that.
Yeah. And I think that in this live performance of her solo song, I feel like she sounded better, like her vocals sounded better than I've like ever heard her sound before.
Yeah, she sounded great.
It sounded really, really good.
And especially the verses in her solo, it's a different range, I want to say, or a different part of her voice she's using, because it's not this giant pop mega hit where she's singing kind of at the top of her range the whole time. It's more of like a song.
Yeah, and that's what I think. Like, I think that with this, she kind of got to do like what she wanted to do. And it suits her much more than Blackpink's music actually like suits her like singing. Like I think that she did something that she wanted to do and something in her style.
Yeah.
Instead of like this big crazy like pop or like on a trap beat or something. And it just sounded so good to me. Like I thought it sounded amazing. Just the live half of that performance.
I hope we get more than just one song.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's like a mini album or something, like 4 songs or.
The best thing they can do at this time if they can't tour is to record as much music as possible.
Yeah, but they're just not the type of group that releases a lot of music,
That's
unfortunately.
True.
So.
Well, like Teddy said, they have a lot of music in the computer, but they're picky about what they release.
It doesn't meet the standards,
Yeah. Hey, controversial topic, but were you slightly disappointed that it wasn't fully live?
Yes, I feel like we might get roasted for this a little bit, but I did see some other people on the internet talking about how it was not live entirely. But
to clarify, recorded live,
yes,
sure. They were all performing. We could hear their voices. They were live dancers, but it was definitely not happening before our eyes live.
Like they weren't doing it. And
it's not being broadcast live.
It was not being broadcast live. Like all the stages were live. It was a bunch of live stages played one after the other.
Yeah.
Just the way that they cut between them, different outfits, different hair, like almost instantly.
All epic, for sure.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like all the stages were great.
But it wasn't a live concert.
It was not a live concert. And I did kind of expect it. And in the beginning, when I first realized that it was not a live concert, like them doing it live, I was a little bit disappointed. But as it went on, I was like, really, what's the difference? We're getting like a set of new live stages pretty much. And then
they weren't trying to hide it, that's for sure. Yeah. It was very clear.
Yeah, with the cuts and everything, and like the different outfits, different hair, like different stages, like everything. It was pretty clear that it was not happening live. But like I said, there was that part at the end that I think, if any part of it was like live happening before our eyes, it was the last 4 songs. Yeah. Because there was like this whole part where they like talked and thanked everybody, and they didn't cut away during any of the songs. They were just like. They should turn the lights off and turn it back on. Yeah, you could see that they were transitioning between the songs. So, and I understand, like, logistically, like, an hour and a half live performance online like that, like, at that scale, technically it would,
super risky.
Yeah, and it would probably be a nightmare to make sure that it ran properly. So I could see them, like, recording a bunch of stages, doing them all, and then saying, okay, we're going to do, like, 15 minutes at the end where you just actually perform.
It's actually live.
Yeah, it's actually live. So
I'm okay with it. If it's between this and getting like something that would have been like cutting out, or like halfway through it could have dropped out or something like that, whatever could technically go wrong with a live stream, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and like I guess like the stages were amazing. Like
if we can't go to a show in real life, this is the best we got.
Yeah, for sure.
And the hype around it was great. We got to watch the rehearsal the night before, the little rehearsal thing, which was fun because I like the best part of these, and it was happening at the end too, like is when they're being like casual and funny and just hanging out on stage and talking, and you know, you can tell it's off the cuff, which is what the rehearsal was and which is what it was kind of like at the end.
Yeah.
You really get that human side of this like mega group that everybody thinks is like so exclusive.
Yeah.
You know?
But they're just people.
They're just people. Yes. So we're high on the aftermath of the show right now, but you all should let us know what you think in a comment down below. Like this video if you did enjoy, and we have lots of other K-pop reactions, including we reacted to other Blackpink tracks, and we've reacted to other Blackpink content in the past, so you should check out our videos for that and some other groups that you might like as well. But for now, my name is Nick.
And I'm Joe.
And we're Nick and Joe.
Here's how the night ended.